Welcome back. It's 8:53 a.m. and we have just about 5 minutes with our next guest. He has another important appointment to go to, and he, of course, is Dr. Gerhard Verdoorn. He is a toxicologist, and more importantly, he is, I'm not sure if I'm saying it correctly, a stewardship manager at Crop Life South Africa. And a very good
Correct.
morning and welcome
Good
to the
morning.
show this morning.
Thank you. Thank you. Good
Okay,
morning.
I know there's a time constraint on your part, so let's cut to the chase. What do we need to know about the Naledi and other township food poisoning that seems to hit South Africa over the past couple of weeks?
Well, it's been coming for quite a long time. I would say for at least the last 18 months, and countless number of people were poisoned, and many people died because of poisoning. And I think there's a slight misnomer here. It's not food poisoning; it's poison in food, because food poisoning is from bacterial infection in the food, and you seldom die from it. What we've seen lately in the last couple of months is many people ingest foodstuffs which are not really supposed to be poisoning people, but people become poisoned and many people died from it. And what was revealed yesterday by the Minister of Health, Minister Motsoaledi, was that they identified the particular causative agent as an organophosphate poison with the name of turbifos. And it was a slight surprise to me because I was expecting it to be aldicarb because previously the Minister of Police made a statement about a carbamate pesticide. Now, unfortunately, both of these substances are sold on the streets of virtually every town and every city in South Africa in small sachets to the public out there. They're both granular. The one aldicarb is very dark gray or completely black, and the turbifos is a pale brown to a dark brown color or a cream color. Both of them are sold in little plastic sachets with any marking, so that's automatically an unlawful poison. You can't even call it a pesticide because a pesticide is something which is registered and regulated and packed in a special container with a special label which is authorized by the Registrar of Act 36. And then these things are sold to the public out there, what they call as a rat muti or a denticide. So they buy it from the street vendors or from the spaza shops. They take it home, and unfortunately, many people make a mistake at home. They think it's a condiment or a spice. They add it to their foodstuffs, or they put it
Oh,
on food then to kill rats, and the children eat it, or they pick it up. If even had a husband of a wife who died in Durban after she put it on a tomato thinking it was black pepper, and it is so serious that for an adult man eating half a teaspoon in both cases, if you don't get to immediate medical treatment, and I'm talking about a maximum of 10 to 15 minutes, your chance of survival is virtually zero. And imagine for children that eat that foodstuff, they have no chance of survival. And unfortunately, it's now all over the country. It's because of crime syndicates that get hold of the compound. Some of it is imported from other countries into our country legally. The turbifos, we don't know yet whether it's imported illegally or whether it's stolen locally from the supply chain or from farms, but it is all over the place, especially in the Western Cape. We find turbifos a lot, and Gauteng also, but the aldicarb is on virtually every street corner in the country. Just last week in Kaderga, where I live in Kariga, I bought aldicarb from 6 street vendors, completely legal. And it shows you the magnitude of what we're dealing with. It's all over the place.
and what is it sold for? Is it a sort of a prevention against rats and other rodents? Is that what people are
Yeah,
buying it for?
that's what people buying it for, yeah. But it's not legal to sell it because aldicarb was completely banned. No one is allowed to have aldicarb in their possession, and no one is allowed to have turbifos in their possession, especially in unmarked containers. Aldicarb is completely banned. Turbifos may only be sold by the industry to farmers who grow crops, and that value chain is very well regulated by the Department of Agriculture. Unfortunately, I think the crime syndicates got their hands onto turbifos just like they got their hands onto aldicarb, and both of these things now feature all over the country in human poisoning. So technically, if you want to kill a rodent, you have to buy yourself a legal rodenticide, which many of the shops sell. I went into a very nice spaza shop yesterday, which is owned by Ethiopian people, and on the shelf they were legally registered rodenticides for a cheap price of 30 rand for a good pack that can do good for about a month to kill all rodents in your house. So there's no need for people to buy these very toxic things. And we tell people, do not buy it, because you're actually spurring on the crime that people commit with illegal pesticides. And you're taking your own life and that of your children and your dog at home in your own hands. Because the moment you take it home, there's bound to be a calamity. And the calamity might be that you lose yourself or an entire family in the spate of poisoning, because you bought a totally illegal poison off the streets from somebody who was not supposed to be in possession of that.
Okay, so Dr. Gerhard, I know you need to go. Just two very important questions. How is the
Mhm.
package if I walk down the streets of Johannesburg and I want to identify what is this very toxic substance that that is being sold? How is it packaged? What is the cost? And what does the vendor say to you? Has the vendor given this particular substance a name?
Yeah, the very common name that we find mostly in Gauteng and then further down towards the Free State is called Halaferimi. That's the name that's
Sorry?
been on the street. Haleferimi.
Hale
So if
Farimi. Okay.
Haleferimi. So if you,
Right.
that's a name that comes from the eastern parts of the country around Nelspruit, but it's now all over the country. So that is the name classically used for aldicarb. So how does one identify that? It is quite easy to identify it. So what you need to do is you need to look at the package. In other words, if there's a little dark gray or a dark brown or a pale brown granule in a little sachet, which is anything from about 1 gram to 20 grams, immediately you should be suspicious. If you see something, when you go to a restaurant, you get your toothpicks in like a little straw. If you see something black in a straw like that, you must be suspicious. Those are all aldicarbs or possibly also turbofosses. So that's how people sell them. And they sell them as a rat muti to people out there. So if you go to the street vendors, which I do very often, and I ask them for the black rat muti, and I call them two-step. They also call it two-step sometimes, or ask them for halaferimi. Some of them take it out from under the desk because they hide it away because they know it's illegal. Some of them just have it openly displayed on the desk, and that's how you identify them. So if it's not in a proper container with a proper label, with a registration number which starts with a capital L, followed by 4 or 5 digits, you must know it's an unlawful poison sold as a pesticide, which is against Act 36 of 1947. That's quite simple.
Okay, so it's sold in clear plastic bags, and at what
Yes.
cost? At what cost?
Anything I bought from 5 Rand for the straws up to 10 Rand for a straw, and then little sachets, which is about the size of your thumbnail, anything from 10 Rand to 20 Rand for a packet. And the larger packet contains anything from 5 grams up to 20 grams of these toxic substances. So it's enough to kill off an entire family.
Okay, I have got to let you go. I know you do have a 9 o'clock appointment. Just one last quick question.
Yes,
You're
welcome.
talking about straws, and it worries me because little children are always having their drinks out of straws. Are you talking about these proper drinking straws that they put the
No,
stuff in and place it
no,
around the house?
no. It looks like a shrink wrapped little straw. It's like when you go to one of the expensive restaurants or so, when they give you a toothpick, the toothpick is not neat and open. It's packaged in a little, what we call a polypropylene bag. It's about, I would say, 5 centimeters long. So it's a very thin little narrow packet. And
Yes,
inside the
yes.
packet is where they put the aldicarb. And you can see it is normally that aldicarb is very black and it's got a very pungent odor. Whereas the other aldicarbs in the plastic bags are small plastic bags. They're more gray color and they don't have that terrible pungent odor. So you have to look out for those things that look like a tiny little straw packet, or you have to look for what we call a little polyethylene plastic bag, which looks like a thumbnail, and tie it up in a knot, where you find these black or dark gray granules.
Dr. Gerhard Verdoorn, thank you indeed. We'll keep our eyes open on that and also obviously make everybody aware of this. Thank you once again. God bless.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Goodbye.
2 after 9 o'clock exactly. Welcome back. And a reminder that this hour of News and Views is sponsored by African Muslims Agency. African Muslims Agency, a beacon of hope to communities for over 35 years in Africa and beyond.
We are here in the middle of a Zahra neighborhood. The whole neighborhood is already destroyed. More than 17 towers are down. Here, as you can see, the firefighters trying their best to help the people are still under the rubble. A lot of the people.
Join Hamza on his exclusive South African tour as he shares his personal experiences, never before seen footage, and powerful insights on the ongoing genocide in Gaza. This is more than just a talk. It's an invitation to witness Gaza through the lens of Hamza Sha'alan. Don't miss this opportunity to meet the photojournalist who brought Gaza's pain and perseverance to the world in its darkest moments. Follow Salam Media on social media pages for more on this tour and be part of the conversation.